Hi, this is Mr. Evans. This video is going to look at a question on quality assurance, and it's one of these questions that is going to look at linking two different concepts from the specification. So the question is, discuss the extent to which introducing a system of quality assurance would improve the financial performance of GL Limited. So one of the things I want to talk about in this video is selecting the information from the case study. One of the things that the examiner says in the examiner's report is that you can't possibly mention everything that you know about quality assurance, everything you know about financial performance. You need to select bits of information that are relevant. Now that might be in the form of a case study, or you do get some questions without case studies that again would require you to select a few strands of big data, information, etc., that you could go into real detail in analysing. So these are the ways from the specification that you can have of measuring financial performance. These are all from there. But given the case study that we've got, it won't be appropriate to talk about all of these things. So you need to make a selection about what you're going to talk about. So the question is, would introducing quality assurance improve the financial performance, or to what extent would it improve the financial performance of this company? And here's the case study. George Liddell's watches are designed and assembled using high quality Swiss-made mechanisms. He is proud of his watches and argues they're as good as many which sell for much higher prices. His company has a range of 250 watches that sell for a maximum price of $450. George's high-quality watches are sold at low prices when compared with his rivals' prices. Competitors such as TAG and Omega are well-known brand names with celebrity endorsements who charge more than £2,000 for some of their watches. George takes an authoritarian approach to managing his experienced team of staff, setting challenging production targets and rewarding staff who meet their production quotas. Every important production decision is made by George, and he has a team of inspectors that examine one watch in every batch of 50 produced. He relies heavily on financial methods to motivate his workforce. Surveys of staff satisfaction have started to decline in recent years, and some staff that leave say they feel bored and disempowered in work. So the case study is getting at the fact that they're not using quality assurance at the moment. They're using a typical system of quality control, where he's got a team of quality inspectors that are examining the watches before they go out. He's got a board staff, is what we're pulling out of this, okay? Taking an authoritarian approach to managing an experienced team of staff, there's a bit of a contradiction there. Maybe if they're experienced staff, they would be better off with a democratic approach and a bit more responsibility. Quality is a key issue for George's business. The company relies on recommendations from customers to make the product. In recent years, there's been an increase in complaints about faulty products. The percentage of faulty products rose from 1.5 to 4.5% of sales between 2015 and 2018. George is considering introducing a system of quality management throughout the business. Okay, so this is another way of saying he's thinking of introducing quality assurance. And then you're given this data about the financial performance of the business. And what you should be thinking straight away is, okay, they're giving me the units sold in thousands, they're giving me the average selling price in units, so you should be able to see straight away that you can calculate revenue. You've then got costs, so I can calculate the total revenue. I've got the total cost, so I can calculate operating profit. And I've also got some information on the organisation's cash flow. So what I would do if I were you is probably have a go calculating the figures that you can using that, and then you've got some information that you'll be able to use. AQA are big fans of giving you data like this and expecting you to manipulate the data to support your answer. And so here are the calculations that I've done based on the information in there. We can see a fall in total revenue and a significant drop in operating profit over that time. The cash flow situation is concerning but has improved somewhat. So the question is, discuss the extent to which introducing a system of quality assurance would improve financial performance of GL. Well, it might be worth you taking a few minutes to just plan your essay, and I'll get into how I've decided to answer the question. Quality, the extent to which a product meets or exceeds customers' expectations, is a key issue for GL Limited. So in the long run, improving it is likely to improve the financial performance of the company. What have I done here? Well, I've put a definition right at the start of my answer, so it's clear that I know what I'm talking about, quality. I've said, this is my conclusion basically. It says here that quality is a key issue. The company relies on recommendations. So yes, in the long run, I think improving it is likely to improve the financial performance of the company. Right, this goes back to what the examiner says about planning the answer before you go and write it, because then you can write your answer in a way that it makes logical sense right from the beginning of the answer. So here's my first paragraph. Quality assurance could help to improve the financial performance of GL Limited, as it involves making workers responsible for managing the quality of the watches they produce. Again, I'm telling the examiner exactly what quality assurance is, so the examiner, he or she, is aware that I know what I'm talking about. This is the beginning of my chain of analysis. At the moment, quality control is down to the inspection team, while staff are incentivised to produce the greatest quantity of watches possible due to the target system used. Okay, so I'm using information from the case study. Workers feel demotivated and under pressure, and this could have contributed to the deterioration in the quality of the watches between 2015 and 2018. I'm taking the information from the case study and I'm combining it to draw some conclusions here. This is my chain of analysis. Perhaps it's the fact that workers are demotivated and under pressure that's contributed to this deterioration in quality. Okay, now I need to link it back to quality assurance. Implementing a system of quality assurance could help to re-engage workers and encourage them to take more time to produce better watches. If this reduced complaints, the company would likely receive better word-of-mouth publicity, and this could increase the number of units sold. Okay, so it says here in the case study, the company relies on recommendations. So I'm using the case study to build my chain of analysis. It's called contextual analysis, using the context to build a chain of argument. Also, the watches are significantly cheaper than the big name brand competitors, so if the watches were better quality, the price could be increased. Okay, again, using the case study. Selling a greater quantity of watches at a higher price could help to increase revenue. Now I'm linking to the financial performance of the company. If this were combined with a fall in costs as a result of fewer returns and being able to get rid of the team of quality inspectors, it may increase the profits of the company. This would be particularly important as the profits fell from 33.5 to 1 million in just 1 year, reducing the operating profit margin to 0.4%. So now I've used the data that I've managed to calculate from the information that I've been given, which shows that I'm really focused on the question, which is on financial performance, ultimately demonstrating that quality assurance could both increase revenue and reduce costs and contribute to an improvement in profitability. Okay, so hopefully it's really clear to the examiner that I am linking back to the question. And you'll notice I've only really spoken, well, I've mentioned costs, revenues, profits and profitability in that paragraph, but I've just selected the information that's relevant. I've not tried to talk about all of these things in one paragraph, but I've hopefully managed to show the examiner that I understand how financial performance is measured and how quality assurance would affect the financial performance of the business. On the other hand, one of the key things to getting a top grade answer is to have some balance. The company's cash flow has also deteriorated. It's not deteriorated, but the company's cash flow is also concerning. It's not actually got worse. I changed the figures around a little bit. It's not actually got worse, it's got better. But it's still concerning because it's negative. Moving to a system of quality assurance could actually damage the organisation's cash flow further. The business may have to pay significant sums to ensure that workers are trained in how to undertake quality assurance. It is also possible that workers will make mistakes in the short term as they adjust to the new system, and these errors will no longer be picked up by the quality inspection team as they won't exist. It may be some time before the company's sales revenue increases, GL's inflows, because customers will take time to react to the improvement in quality. Consequently, it's possible that the business will incur costs that damage their already concerning cash flow deficit of almost 3 million. So the company has a cash flow deficit. What I've said is that outflows are going to increase due to training. It will take a while before inflows increase, and therefore this deteriorating cash flow position might actually get worse. Okay, so you can see what my conclusion is going to be, hopefully. In the long term, it's going to be beneficial, but in the short term, there might be costs. Therefore, I believe in the long run, the organisation will reverse their falling revenues and increase their profit as a result of introducing quality assurance. That's my answer to the question, okay? Will it improve the financial performance? Well, it will reverse falling revenues and increase their profit. This is because it will motivate the staff, increase the quality of goods, and help the business to improve its reputation. Okay, so I've hopefully managed to support my answer with factors that I've already discussed in the body of the answer. However, there could be significant outflows incurred in the short term due to the training that will be required. Okay, so I've got some balance in my conclusion, which just summarises the problem that I've identified, or the issue that I've identified. Now, a very high-level conclusion might be able to suggest a solution to this issue. And all I've said is that George could consider taking out a loan to cover his deteriorating cash flow position in the coming year. So hopefully I've identified to the examiner that I've realised that there will be a problem, and I've provided a solution to that. If you look at the descriptor of a top-level answer, a top-level conclusion will provide an answer. It will identify some balance, look at the other side of the answer, and provide a solution to the problem. Hopefully you can see that my suggestion of taking out a loan is a very simple way to answer the problem that I've identified.